Okay, welcome everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending upon where you are in the world. Go ahead and type in and let us know who's here, where you're coming from, where you're joining us from while we get everything set up. Uh, hey, we should all be happy that we're actually here and we're live. John says, yep, he can hear me and see the screen and everything. Because about 20 minutes before we were supposed to go live, of course, my internet went down. So I was trying to, I live on the lake, the edge of the lake, kind of in the hills here, and I don't have great cell service, but I was trying to hook it up so I could use my hotspot and restarted everything, but suffice to say that I solved it and we're here. So I hope that this resonated with everyone. And I know a lot of people registered, they weren't able to make it so far, but I'm glad that you're here because I know, I'm guilty as well. I'm guilty of having purchased things and not making money from them. Ultimately, that's why we're all in this business, right? We're all here to make money, to fuel our dreams. And so we buy things to help solve problems, either add something to our life or subtract it. You've heard me say that before. And so we don't put everything to work, right? It collects digital dust, as I coined the term. So what we're going to be talking about today, and I've got a special guest, Brian Anderson. I'm going to bring him on in just a moment. But what we're going to be talking about today is the number one secret to turning money-losing stuff that you've already bought into money-making stuff. Okay, and this is the number one secret. And Brian and I have been talking about this since last year, because Brian and I are all about trying to help you to make money so that you can pursue your own dreams. Brian, are you there?
Hey, Jeff, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you, and we can see the screen here with the presentation. So I think, Brian, I know you've been around for a long time, and we're going to hear more about your story in just a moment, but suffice to say, do you have some stuff that you bought that you're not making money from?
I have dozens of things that I probably bought and not making money from, just like probably anybody else, right? I I realized that, and I don't know how many other people might feel the same way, Jeff, but I realized that my interests, the things I'm interested in, are broader. There's more things that I want to try out than I have bandwidth or time, really. I just don't have it.
Yeah.
So for instance, I dabbled in e-com. It's a good story. I made between 3K and 20K a month, but it takes work and I don't have time to deal with it. So I just walked away from it. It's an easy
Yeah.
thing that it's probably the most obvious one to me that I missed. I'm far behind you on, and you're you've had much better success than I have. And, it's consistency. It's all the things we all know, right? Consistent effort, just putting some time and energy into it on a regular basis. And I then, besides that, that's when I started and never finished. But I've got lots that I started. How do I say it? If I bought and never even used, like I shoot 20 or 30 things that are all fairly solid, reputable, lots of people doing well with, but there's only so many things you can do. And I think part of the challenge, Jeff, is people buy a new business idea every second week instead of make the business they have produce money. And I think that's part of the problem for so many people.
Yeah. And hey, we all buy lots of stuff, right? Because we're searching for a way to start making money. And then if you start making money with one thing, you're buying other things to try to help make more money, or take less time to do it, or scale it, or whatever it happens to be, or maybe you're trying to start and launch a new line of business. So you and I talked about this, and we said, look, what's common about people, including us, that are making money? A lot of people that you see out there that are helping people. And I think this is the number one secret. It's not so secret, but how you approach it and how we've accomplished it. And I think it's the principles that we've used to accomplish what we have done with this secret are probably common amongst everybody across the field of people that are helping people. So let's go ahead and dive into that. And I know you're going to make the presentation, and I'll be here. Just let me know if I got any comments. I'll be happy to jump in.
Yeah, interject, man. Jump in, and that goes for anybody. Shout out, I see my friend Dave Ferran, who I just chatted with the other day, and David Perkins, I was just speaking to a second ago about some crypto stuff. And guys, all of you that are here, Jeff said it best. What's the secret to turning all the stuff you buy into money-making assets? Because you didn't buy losers. You don't pick them wrong every time, right? It's kind of like stocks. I was talking this morning with Brandon Hayes in our office. He's our high school intern. He's 18 today. And we were talking about stocks and options and the whole GameStop thing. And I said, look, you're not always going to be wrong. But on the same token, everything you think you're going to do in the stock market isn't always right. So, diversity is, key, diversifying. The challenge, though, with our businesses and entrepreneurial activities is when you buy a new business idea and you think the act of buying makes you successful. Doesn't matter whose tech, product. If you don't put it to work, it won't work, right? Anybody's product. So if you're guilty, and I took this from Jeff's email, you guys, if you're guilty of buying make money online products and never logging in, I am guilty of that. Watching a few videos, in general, I usually get one of our VAs to do that one, so I skip step 2. Getting started with a bang and fizzling out, probably guilty of that one. Wishing you had help for something you don't like to do. I have help, I just fail to kind of push it forward. Getting distracted by the next shiny object. I bet a lot of us have done that. I know Jeff and I chat about that, right? All right, watch this. If you're tired of not making money, you're tired of feeling sick and tired, right? About the money you spend with nothing to show, not getting ahead, feeling like you wasted your money, wanting to give up. And when you bought whatever product it is, let's pick somebody. You guys, why don't you guys shout out something you bought? Not from Brian, not from Jeff, but from somebody that is good, but you haven't executed on. Just name a product right now, a system, a blueprint, a strategy, a software. Shout it out, because you know what? There are so many good products. I can't tell you how many people I've met with Jeff and at conferences. We were at a conference last year. There were 75 guys, 80 guys there, and that's the collective guys, guys and gals. All of them had multi-million-dollar products with thousands of people, buying and using. I love it. Kibo Code is such a good example from Steven. 100%. ADA leads in the local space. Video marketing. Video marketing may be my Achilles heel too, Schumann. Or Andrew, actually. Okay, I already bought many of these, but how do I get it fulfilled, Muhammad said. So, like Jonathan Hall, okay. Ringbot, David Perkins said, great product. Zach Anderson, just a great product. Kibo Code Quantum, even better than Kibo Code. They fixed what was wrong. So what's the missing ingredient? Every product that you guys name, there's like 80 of them. They're not all bad. We know that. The reality is there is a missing ingredient. And if you're 24 and you want to constantly gamble on the next biggest thing, this presentation is going to be a waste of your time. Or if you're 54 and you want to act like you're 24, it won't be good for you. Because what we're going to talk about is I'm not even going to ask you guys this. Why you want to make money online? We get it. Jeff and I know. We know it comes down to freedom of time, freedom of location, getting rid of, if you have like corporate shackles that, that lock you in a cube or commuting every day, getting rid of all that. Now, the truth is, the freedom that we all want is often elusive, right? It seems to be one step ahead. And how many of you have hit a level in your business, doesn't matter what your business is, where you've gotten where you want to go? And I'll be honest, I've had success, but I haven't hit everything I want. I want more. There's other things I want. Amplifier, good one. GiveBot, good one. John Mellinson, such a good comment. Brian, what if you're 60, 61, and you need to make something work ASAP? John, you're perfect for the call then. How many of you have achieved this, right? And I'm reading the comments. All right, watch. The number one missing ingredient, and I'm going to go fast, you guys, because I'm going to spend time, Jeff and I want to spend time talking through things. So fire in questions. If I don't do it right now, we're going to get to the point quickly so we can talk. So what's the number one missing ingredient, right? Think about it. The solo CEO. That's you, right? So what's missing? You're doing all these different things to make money. You don't have to tell me. I know that most of you are doing some combination of what's listed here, right? What are you doing? You're doing one or more of these things, maybe even more, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Just because you're doing those things, underneath the umbrella of all those categories, there's tasks. There's like incremental work that has to happen for you to achieve success. Like, let's take SEO. If you're doing SEO, there's work with, let's say you're doing local, right? You have on-site stuff, right? You have these changes to pages and code and content. There's off-site stuff ranging from linking and citations, all those kind of things, right? So yeah, you can automate some of it, but there's this work required to get the end result. All right. You know what to do. What has to happen, you have to get to the doing. You already know what you need to do. You don't need Jeff or I to tell you. You have to get to the doing. You have to go from buying to doing. And I mean this. You buy another course, right? Circle that there. You buy another course. You expect a miracle, and then there's no miracle. There's never a miracle. The miracle does not happen from buying the course. It doesn't. And that's why courses are problematic. Software is problematic. You have to have the training, the course, the software, but what you have to have is the strategy. You've got to have some kind of immersive environment to get you up to speed. And then you have to do, right? You got to do the do, like Mountain Dew, right? You got to do it. And if you don't, none of this works. You guys all know this. The bare minimum. If you can't do the bare minimum, which is not simply buying the course, then you're not going to have success. Doesn't matter. Any product that you guys just named, all of them. The act of buying is not the solution. I wish it was. I wish we could all just go out and buy X, and as soon as you buy it, you could do nothing and, reap rewards, right? It doesn't really work that way. All right. Yeah, okay. John said something that John M said, hey, I'm a big picture guy. The minutia really vexes me. Me too. I totally agree. I used to be a detail guy. Lately, I'm more of a big picture guy, strategy guy. All right. So, like, if you run an agency and you're not generating leads, you're dead, right? If you're dead. If you don't have leads, you are dead. Outbound marketing, you got a pipeline, you're taking calls, maybe appointments, you might be using Zoom in person, following up, maybe asking for referrals, sending thank you message, but tracking conversions, split testing, all these things, checking your own website out, social media, billing. There's so many little tasks, and this is like a fraction of them. There's so many little things. If you're not doing these things, you're not going to win, right? If you're in e-com and you're not doing things like this, you're not going to win. Whether it's you got to get traffic to your offer. Maybe it's ads, maybe it's email, maybe it's Amazon, whatever. You have to get traffic. You've got shipping, you've got inventory costs, you've got some kind of software with a product catalog. You got all these things you got to do. If you don't do that, you're not going to win. Same thing, affiliate marketing. We did a call this morning on this. If you're not keeping your list clean, immaculate, if you will, getting rid of the bounces, scrubbing out the non-engaged, if you're not running campaigns on a regular basis, working on your relationships, all these kinds of things, you're probably not going to win. But, right, that's a lot of stuff. And I'm going to be honest, how many of you are good? Like, if any one of those areas kind of connected with you, how many of you are good at everything you need to do? And that's usually the challenge for the solo CEO. You're good at, like John said, I'm an idea strategy guy, or you could be a detail guy. And the strategy guy can really design a great concept, but he or she needs execution. And the people that can execute, in many cases, can't really design the strategy. And they don't even know what to execute on, right? They typically work for somebody else. So the reality is most of us are not good at something. We're not good at certain areas. And I'll be honest, I'm good at several areas, but it's a fraction of what I need to be successful. Jeff's the same thing, right? We're good at certain things. And beyond that, I'm trying to work a schedule that gives me what I want out of life. And what I want is not 80 hours a week right now, right? What I want is a quality life, right? I want the dream, right? I want the photographs that we were throwing up there. So I don't want to work 80 hours. So all of those things are problematic. And if you think about it, which of these challenges apply to you? If you try to do it all yourself, put one. Hard to maintain expertise across multiple areas. That's an easy one, right? All right. What else? Trying to do things you don't like to do. This is a big problem for so many of us. You work in your business but not on it, right? You're down in the weeds. The outsourcing problems, there's a lot of them. You think you don't have money, you're not sure where to get them, how to manage them, communicate. You're afraid to do it all yourself. You're afraid you have to do it all yourself. All these different things, right? There's a lot of problems. Yeah. If you're like David, you want to work 10 hours a month and have a jet, right? Or like Stephen and Bill, you guys said all of these. So did I. Well, what I want to do, and Jeff and I together, we're going to give you a really simple approach. And guys, we're going to be real transparent. We're going to give you a different take on outsourcing and how to address these problems. So I just gonna tell you, because I don't like people that keep everything a secret, right? So we're gonna show you a way to solve this, and we're gonna go pretty rapidly. A little bit about myself. I've got a local agency. I no longer do any of the selling. I don't do the marketing anymore, and I don't do the fulfillment. It's the best agency experience I've had in years. I step in every now and then, but I work on the business from a metrics level. Oh, how many leads? What's our open rates? What's our conversions, right? I look at the numbers now. I sold a company a number of years back. It's yikes. It's been a while now. May of 09. I've done a lot of millions online in local, primarily in lead gen around SEO and pure lead gen. I've done like 45, 46 million now in email, webinar, online kind of marketing. What's interesting to me, right, is how many other people that I talk to have the same kind of stories, the same kind of backgrounds, right? They've got agencies, they've got e-com or affiliate businesses, and they're making money or they're not making money, but they have these problems. Now, you guys all know Jeff. Jeff, are you? Let me see. Did he step away? I think
I'm here.
there you go. It's my favorite picture mainly because I took it, you guys. I was on the boat while Jeff was surfing. I had a beer for what it's worth while Jeff was working his tail off here. You got to, Jeff, I mean, I know everybody knows your story on your call, but it's pretty amazing, dude. When I met you, I mean, I had no idea. I had no idea. You were restarting coming out of corporate, right? You were corporate VP and you were just kind of, you were done with that world, I think.
Well, actually, yeah, I mean, it's been, you know what? I left the corporate world to head up a startup. I mean, I was one of the first employees at Primestar, which is the first direct broadcast satellite service. And after 5 years, I left there to come to Bell South to help them get into the video business because it was bringing us back to Atlanta, where I'm from. But 5 years of that soul sucking enterprise, I just couldn't get away fast enough. So I ended up leaving to head up a startup. And I left literally a month before the stock market crashed in 2000.
Oh, geez.
I mean, I'd gone and gotten some office space and the market crashed. And to make a long story short, we couldn't raise any more money. We had to shut that down. But 10 years ago, after 10 years of sort of trying to find my way after that exercise, I was back again at the drawing board because, the crash happened. I had a mortgage company, turns out, and I was looking for something to do. So it's been 10 years since I started down that venture. But I want to resonate, I want to back what you just talked about, Brian, because you think about John Mellison said, look, I'm a big picture guy. I don't like to get down in the weeds. All the details vex me. And I will say that I'm 65. I'm rolling right towards 66, which I'll be next month. And, the older you get, the less, I don't know if necessarily the less ability to consume the details, but the less interest you have in dealing with the details. And so I've arrived at a point now after 10 years where, like Brian, I've, and what we're talking about here today is how to get out of that situation and do it the right way so that you can focus on being the CEO and the big picture of what you're doing. I mean, I take what I do today. Yeah, I got it this morning. I looked at the data that had been aggregated by other people for my e-com business. And Amazon, I contacted as soon as, I've got VAs all over the world, so they're in different time zones. So when I get up, I can talk to people that are ahead of me in time over in like Pakistan, for example. And then people come online in the Philippines that are working our time. And so, I needed to, and I've got people getting ready to do Facebook advertising for me out of Australia. They wanted to turn on the Shopify site for one of my brands. Did I go and figure out how to turn it on? No. I went into Skype and said, hey, go ahead and turn this on. And they came back and said, well, we got a problem with the domain. Well, get in touch with support and get them and figure out what it is. I don't know how to, I didn't create the Shopify site. I'm not figuring out how to connect it. I had to connect it to Amazon FBA. I didn't figure it out. I had somebody else do it. And, then I went I've got a personal trainer now. That's a whole nother story. And so I had to go get ready and go to my personal training. Then I came here. I sent out a couple of emails to alert because I really wanted people to come to this and hear this, because this is what we're going to show you is very different than probably what you've heard before. And I think very integral to your success. And that's why we were so excited about having you here. So that's enough about me, but I'm excited that we're talking about this because it's very critical to, I think, to everybody.
Well, and Jeff, you know what's interesting is like this picture shows a secret to our success. It's not a secret, but to some people it might feel like one. It's the same for me as it is for you, as it is to so many other people. We have teams. You guys know Jeff has a team and I have a team, and having a team really does take the work off. Makes it manageable, right? It gives you the quality of life. To John's point, if you don't want to be in the weeds, you don't have to be. You don't want to sell, you don't have to be. You don't want to fulfill, you don't have to be. So with teams, here's three of the ladies that run my agency team. Super sweet. They do an amazing job. This is our core of for my local agency is all in and around Manila and in Cebu City. I have two different groups, and these three ladies, Rose on the left is super active right now because she's actually working our US hours. So I feel like I know her more. Vanessa on the far right, Vanessa D, she's the country manager. She's over the entire team. And the reality is they're executing on all the things I don't want to do. And not just them, our team under them that they kind of manage and work with. Now, you guys know Jeff. Some of you know David Chevalier, and I know he's recovering right now. He had unfortunately had a medical condition, and he's on the rebound from that. However, Jeff's got his team. David was here in Atlanta. David moved over to the Philippines, and they've built a great little team in the Philippines. You want to know why Jeff's on his boat? You can look at this picture. You want to know why Jeff's working minimally, right? Because he's taken things that he doesn't want to do, right? All those different steps at the beginning, and he's basically found a way to have somebody else do them for him and, tiered it up. So what we're going to do right now is kind of deliver on what we promised to help you solve all the different constraints that affect us, you guys. Let's see. Whether you're afraid, you're not sure what to do, we're going to show you another take on outsourcing, and we're going to address these problems. We're going to start with 3 keys to success. You can call them golden keys. Very simple. First one, and you guys know this. If you look in a mirror, you know this is true. Stop trying to master the wrong thing. If you're never going to be good at selling and lead generation, appointment setting, then get out of your own way. You know what I mean? Get out of your way. On the same token, if you're easy on the phone, you can talk to people, you can meet with them, you're networking, you're just natural at that, right? But you're not good at the minutia. All right, let's get out of your way. So what does that really mean? It means not being the jack of all trades. Every entrepreneur I know, me included, Jeff included, by human nature, you start out because you're bootstrapping it on a few bucks. You're starting your business on, just a small amount of money. So you tend to do it all yourself. Now, what you need to be is in charge. You need to be the CEO. You need to be, or the president, the manager, the general manager, right? And what's the job of the CEO? Think about it. The job of the CEO is not all the minutia. The job of the CEO is different than it is for the salesperson, for the link builder, for the emailer, right? It's different. You can't do it all. Yeah, like John said, HMFIC, you got to run the ship, right? You have to. Now, how do you promote yourself to CEO? We're all CEOs at one level or another in our business, but some of us are truly CEOs, and the others, right? The others are lost. You're stuck in the mud, so to speak, right? How do you promote yourself? Well, you're going to outsource your way to success. That doesn't mean you're going to spend a lot of money. I want you to think about the money you spend right now buying different businesses, different strategies, things that you're going to tackle because you were interested on that call or the next. And imagine if you just stopped some of that. I'm not telling you not to innovate, not to buy new tech or new ideas. I'm saying be smart about it. Take some of the revenue you spend on that and spend it on your business, not on a new business idea. I mean that. If you just spend a small amount of money, a couple $100, you're gonna find really, really will be transformational. Second one is how to avoid costly outsourcing mistakes. Um, I am first and foremost, I had a $250,000 outsourcing mistake. So when I ask you who has made a costly outsourcing mistake, I will raise my hand first. I hired 2 developers from Canada that were at a level, they were beyond me, but I liked them. I trusted them. They were referred from somebody I trusted. They passed all the sanity tests. I spent so much money building a piece of software with them, and I bought into all the BS and stories and excuses along the way, and I let it run too long. And then one day I got a letter. I got a Dear John letter, if you will, or a Dear Brian letter saying, hey, we can't deliver. We're sorry we wasted all this time and all of your money. So that's the worst possible example, right? All right. Hiring the wrong person, another bad one. I've hired this one friend of mine, David Perkins knows him. I hired this one friend of mine 2 or 3 times. And Vanessa, who's kind of like my number one person, I don't want to title, she does a lot of things. But she's like, Brian, are you sure? Are you sure? I made the same hiring mistake with the same person a couple times. And then I got smart, and that was that, and I got rid of that person, and I've separated business from friendship, and it's much better. But hiring the wrong person will really screw you up. It'll drain your cash, but more importantly, it'll stop you from reaching your goals. It could even sink your entire business. So another one, if you hire incorrectly, hire wrong, right, for a task, kind of like my software example that I gave you a minute ago. This could do really, really bad things to your bottom line. It could, depending on your cash flow and your reserves, it could do a lot of damage. Interviewing the wrong way. I didn't have a lot of experience interviewing people. When I was in corporate, I at the most, I managed a 10-person team. At the biggest, I never hired, tons and tons of people. I was always like a superstar solo player. And then when I was a manager, I had small teams. I ran the marketing department for a software company. Most software companies, smaller ones, $100 million companies, their team, it might be 10, 12 people. It's not giant. So I never hired tons and tons of people. And in the last 10, 12 years with the new version of my local agency, I have interviewed so many people, made mistakes. I've done it right. I've done it wrong. You name it, right? It's happened. So interviewing the wrong way is bad. So you got to have a plan, right? Based on success. You have to. So kind of finishing that second key. Now the third one, very important, stop trying to do it all yourself. Even the ones of you, the rare breed that really is good at almost everything. Because you may be good at everything, but you have this thing called limited bandwidth. And for those of you that are a little bit younger and you feel like you have unlimited energy, that doesn't last. You won't always be able to work 18 hours a day and just go nonstop, right? You didn't get into this to just work yourself to death. You got into this to make money, to be your own boss, to have freedom and enjoy your life. So stop trying to do it yourself. Now, business success is not easy. It's hard. There's a lot of moving parts. You know it and I know it. right? John and Melson, I just saw that comment. You're so true. Um, Errol, I would it is Errol, so I would recommend you just get up to speed there, my friend, honestly. And we welcome you here though, and feel free to stay and be a part, but I want you to use your time wisely. What you need to do when it's complex is to remove the uncertainty. Right now, right, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. We've got COVID, the pandemic. We can't really remove that. We're counting on the scientists, and we're counting on herd immunity and people wearing masks and all the different things, the sacrifices people have made in the last year, right? But we can't fix it ourselves. So part of the paralysis we all face is because it's out of our control. You have to give it over to someone else. Now, in our business, we have uncertainty. How much money am I going to make next month? Is my recurring going to go down? Am I going to lose clients, gain clients? What about, this and that, right? Anything you can do to take uncertainty and make it more certain is better. Now, the way that Jeff and I do it is using a team, right? And I didn't mean an expensive team. I've got a few that are expensive, but in general, it's pretty affordable. And, the same way I built my team, the same way Jeff's built his team, you guys can each do it. And you're not going to go all in. You're not going to spend thousands of dollars by any means. You're going to do it different, right? There's a few questions you have to answer. Now, as you can tell with my team, I mentioned a lot of them are in the Philippines, same as Jeff. Reason being is one of the more unique countries in the world, right? While they're in Southeast Asia, Pacific, right? Philippines have extremely good English. The average Filipino's English is above average to excellent. Their work ethic is very, very strong. The honesty they exhibit as a culture, very strong. And the BPO industry, the business process outsourcing industry, right? The big companies, IBMs and Apples, all the big players, these workers over here have been honed by other companies bigger than all of us. They've been trained in various things. And guess what? Now there's a skilled workforce that's hungry and motivated to work, and they're going to work. I'm going to tell you, your biggest problem in the Philippines is going to be your fault. You're not going to give them enough to do. They're going to work and work and work, and then they're not going to do stuff when you don't task them with things. So you have to always make sure you keep their plate full. But when you look at the country, it's spread out. Look at all the different islands, the regions. Did you know that the government minimum wage in the Philippines differs based on where you are, what city and what region you're in? It's very fascinating to me. What else? All right. So I'm going to just highlight a few people and what they do for me. So this is probably one of my favorite rock stars. Some of y'all know I call her New Vanessa. Like Vanessa, who's here with us in the background, she's awesome. We've worked together like 20 years. New Vanessa, not that my other Vanessa's old, but new Vanessa, just because I hired her and I had to separate her. She's been in internet marketing, online marketing for 8 years. She's worked with me for 6 now. She's great. She can do anything. She's that jack of all trades, super smart. She indirectly manages the others. She's got a little bit of technical, a little bit of marketing. She's great at tasks. She finds me other staff. She did lots of SEO work for me. Just awesome. Can use different software programs. Like if you ever said you bought some program and you need to put somebody to work, just to do it for you, this is the kind of person that's perfect. She's phenomenal. I have another lady named Rose. Rose Cabacang is awesome. She's been 15 years in the space. She's been with us 6-7 years and started out as a writer. Her English, her command of the English language and her ability to write is strong, right? So I use her on copywriting. You may laugh, but I use her on copywriting, on SEO, on social media. She helps on the affiliate side with me. Um, we've got a support team there that augments our US team. She's got some WordPress skills. She started working online as she finished her degree in the Philippines. What else? Grace. Grace is awesome. Content. So for us, I have lots of SEO clients still. So I have a lot of people that do that kind of work. Lead gen, she does that. I have a couple others that work with her that they do data entry, list building. Like if you told me, if any of you guys have worked with me before and I said I can get you a list of 100, I don't know, plumbers in Baltimore, Grace's team will manually build it. So this is how it happens. It's not some software. We manually use software and we apply human ingenuity to get the best results. She's got some tech skills, but she's just great. She's only been here 3, maybe 4 years now, but phenomenal. But then I've got tech guys like Russell. He's been in the industry 5 years. We hired him directly. I think he was dating one of our employees, is kind of how I met him. It was very suspicious at first, but he's grown into somebody I really like. He is doing plugin work, obviously WordPress stuff, but level up on that. Plugin design, development, editing, customization, server work for us, all kinds of back end tech stuff. This guy's awesome. This guy would cost me like 80 grand in the US. I think I don't know what I pay, 600, maybe 650 a month full time. Jackie, um, she's good. She heads up part of our writing team, our content team. As you guys know, SEO is so important. It's about content right now. She can communicate and write better than a lot of people I've had in my office here in Atlanta. She can multitask. She's a get stuff done person. Once again, the kind of person I could give a software, I could give a course to, and she would crush it, right? Yeah, John, she'd be good for all those kind of things, what you just named about Send Eagle. Carl, John, this makes a lot of sense for you. Carl is my email marketer. So I have a screenshot. Well, I'll just show you guys if you don't care. I sent an email yesterday. I dabble in ClickBank affiliate marketing outside of like my core focus. My core focus is around my agency. It's more local, but I enjoy other topics just like all of you. So I dabble in other things. Yesterday, Carl basically was following something Brandon was doing. So Carl sent an email, right? And put it on the screen. Well, I have PowerPoint only. Hang on. I'm gonna keep this real, you guys. So Carl, where did it go? Okay. Do you see a ClickBank screen, Jeff? I can't tell right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So $146 on Wednesday. We're at 1584 today. Some of you heard my webinar earlier today, and I wondered if we could get to 1500. Well, we did. Right? We did. And what does that have to do with me? Well, I didn't do any of this because I had Pilates yesterday because I've been having a lot of back pain, and I started going to Pilates to try to help that. And what else did I do? I hung out with my wife, and my one daughter's under the weather this morning at home, to Jeff's point. But Carl, don't worry, Brian, because Carl was crushing it out for me. He wrote the email. He sent the email from SendGrid in this case, and he's in my Slack channel. I have a Slack channel with he and Russell and Vanessa, and he's updating me on the stats. That's all I want to know. He's like, Brian, we're making good money, blah, 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 right? That's it. So this is Carl. What else? Jan is very young. Vanessa, I know you're in the background. Do you know how old she is? What is she, like 23 or 4, 25?
I think 24.
24. She's an English teacher. Thanks, Vanessa. She's an English teacher at a college in Manila. So she has been on our writing team, creating blog posts and content for our syndicated sites. She can write, and she's got great computer skills as a non-tech person, right? But she's got great skills. She's a versatile player. We've got so many. I got Kevin. He's also English teacher by trade. He's got all the basic skills. Any one of these people could step in. They could step in and run Kibo. They can run my affiliate marketing, right? They can do all these things. And then I have a whole team, 3 of them right now, and I'll show you the ads on how I got them, that do sales for me. They drum up the appointments, right? So as you can see, being part of this global community allows me to maintain my costs, and I'm super cool over there. I sent the managers, they wanted to go on holiday, and I heard they were talking about it, and I had Vanessa step in, and we paid for their flights and their hotel. We put them up for a week in Thailand. They went on holiday. I want loyalty. I don't want to be the guy trying to pay them the lowest amount of money, right? Now, I'm not overpaying, I will be honest. And I get on to Vanessa. If we ever pay too much, I don't want to screw up the balance, right? I want to give very fair and more than fair bonuses, but I don't want to give the kind of bonus you'd get if you live in San Francisco. It's completely crazy, right? Like, how many of us have ever got $100,000 bonus at your job? None of us, right? You don't get a year's pay as your bonus. But it's easy to make that mistake with the currency differences. So the thought that Jeff and I had is, how do we help you succeed? How do you refocus what you're doing around your core business? We have a mastermind group around outsourcing that Jeff and I run. It's brand new. Just like this group I was in for a while with Mike Filsame and Jeff and John Sousa and Ty Cohen, Stephen Renton, who else there? Tom Beal and Bill McIntosh. Look, being around other smart people, I don't have a monopoly of good ideas. Either does Jeff. Mohammed, you may have an amazing idea. Andrew, John, whomever, right? So, yeah, and John said something that's true. Remember, for a lot of Americans, we're lazy. Unfortunate due to the culture. The English on the average Filipino is really good. So when you're part of a mastermind like this, you start, right? You start to figure out stuff. So my story is, I started in the 90s. I got out of undergrad in 93, and I was working for state government outside of the Tampa area, an area called Bradenton, Florida, and doing mainframe stuff at the time. I was a developer, COBOL, Unix, C shell coding. Anybody who done that? Assembler. But I had a roommate who I was buddies with at college, and his name was Toby Thomas, but he went by Toby. His dad was a dentist, and that was my first local client. We custom built a website in the mid 90s for his dental practice. And then I just started moonlighting, doing jobs on the side, trying to make extra money, because government work never pays unless you're at the very top, apparently. But when you're a low level cog in the wheel, you're just glad to make a few bucks, right? And over time, I got to the point, I hired a guy in India. His name was Subhashi Dutta. I hired another guy in the Philippines whose name was Mac Ocampo. I built my SEO agency called Peachtree SEO, literally, or should I say literally, with their help, right? They were the core reason I was able to have a full-time job, get up to 200 and something clients. We did the exact same service for everybody, and eventually sell it. I couldn't have done it on my own ever, even back then. Now, the reality is, the more I talk to people over the years, the more Jeff and I talk together to people, almost everybody we speak to needs help. I'm going to put some stuff up here. If you see your name here, I didn't ask anybody's permission. These were all in Facebook groups. They were public groups. or groups I was a member of, so I felt comfortable posting these. So, watch this. Kevin, who I spoke to this morning. I'm struggling. If you guys have a VA for me, I have my credit card in hand. And I told Kevin that we were working on that. We had been working on it for 18 months. So he just wants help. He doesn't want to go it alone. He goes on to talk about overcoming the technical. And he's like, he's doing affiliate marketing right now, you guys. His biggest impediment is the technical. He's like, I heard for as little as 500 to 750, I could hire someone full time for the month. Honestly, you can get somebody for 300, but that $500 to $600 level is a lot better full time. It's better to get a $600 person part time for 300 than it is a $300 person full time. But that's my experience. And this is what Kevin was looking for, right? Getting over the technical. I don't know about you guys, but some of you will know Barack. Barack Greneau is a great guy. He moved from LA down to Clearwater. He's got an agency focused in the dental space. I know David, you know him, a few others here. Jeff knows him. He is looking for people to do follow-up, live follow-up. Joe wanted somebody to use voice drops and do the work for him, fulfillment to help him get clients. David Perkins, who's actually on the call, wanted someone who's using SendReach and knows how to set it up and run it, right? So Dave is on the call with us. That's what he's looking for. Somebody that can take that off his plate and he doesn't have to bother. Cassandra was doing video marketing. She wants somebody to use a product she bought and make money with it. John, you asked about making money right away. That's what Cassandra wanted, right? She wanted to set up and to do the fulfillment around these videos. She got PLR videos, locally focused. Scott Meadows, fabulous guy, Greenville, South Carolina, just a great guy. He's looking for a VA to come in and do outbound cold calling. Give me a 1 if you want to do outbound cold calling yourself, or a 2 if it'd be great if somebody else would do all that for you. And look, the reality is, yeah, I got it, right? The reality is Scott's a smart guy. He has a lot of clients. He's making good money. You know what? He's filling that need. John gave me like 52s. Perkins gave me the number 3. I think that means he really does not want to do it. But that's a big one. Tim wants to split a VA. Just wants to share bandwidth, get somebody good and share halftime each. He's over in the UK. My buddy Todd up in New York, originally out of Boston. This guy was, God, Todd, I hope I don't butcher it. Ferrari or Porsche mechanic, and got into local. He started selling internet marketing to car dealerships back in the day with Sid Michael and myself. Just a great guy. He's trying to hire 3 candidates. He wants to make the right hire and not the wrong one. Justin, these are all guys some of you may know. He wants cold callers, scripts, people to generate leads for his agency. He knows he's not going to do it. Look, this is what everybody wants, what Jeff wants, what Brian wants. And whether you know it or not, all of you kind of want the same thing. You want to run your business. You don't want to spend all your time doing minutia. So we've talked about outsourcing. We talked about planning and strategy. We talked about joining a successful community, the whole mastermind concept. We talked about the larger scale internet marketing community. We looked at all these examples of what other people needed. Now, we've got a lot of other things to chat about, and we are going to do that on this call. What Jeff and I did is put something together that, honestly, it's been about 18 months that we've been building this thing out. We told you at the beginning of the call, we would address all these problems, because if you're like me, you're not good at least half of these, maybe more, at least half. So how do we solve it? We build an offer very different, right? Very different than you're going to see, right? Let me show you. It's not really a course. we built a lab, VA Outsourcing Lab. What's the difference? Well, I'm going to explain it. Beyond a course, we're going to give you foundational knowledge. We're not going to bore you to death with 2-hour long videos where we just rant on about something, right? We're going to give you the foundational knowledge you need, the Cliff Notes. We're going to give you the step-by-step blueprints. And then we're going to immerse you in a community doing the same thing. We're going to give you the on-the-job training, right? So important. Some of the training gets into, this is the core element. Let me show you the training, and then we'll get into kind of the real value of the whole system. Why you have to outsource now to win. How to outsource and immediately get promoted to CEO, right? Where to hire quality talent. You already know that we're using the Philippines. The number one location to hire. This is such a good one, right? Number two isn't even close. What you can hire for, I won't read all this. Anything you can dream up. You can find smart people that want to work, and they're going to work hard to help make you successful. It's about all anybody's ever wanted, right? A hardworking, loyal team. Let them fill the gaps in from what you're not good at. Now, here's where we go a little deeper. I asked Rose, who I had her picture up earlier, to help me create a presentation about the culture, the economics, and the geography of the Philippines. I wanted to know more about how does religion come into play. For instance, whenever I get a resume into us, and I try not to look at the resumes, but when I get them, it always says, in general, they're mostly Catholic, Roman Catholic, and it says it, height, weight, and resume. You would height, weight, and religion. You wouldn't see that in the UK or the US or Canada, right? I asked Rose to touch on the work ethic and family, the currency, the whole Filipino peso, the cost of living. What does it cost for different things? The national minimum wage. How does that work? The geography of the Philippines, obviously all the islands, how it's spread out, how that affects utilities, internet speed, brownouts, all these kind of things that come into play. Not your normal stuff, right? The reality for something like this is it's personalized to you. Because what John needs is different than Andrew and different than Dennis. Understanding what you can hire for, you have to identify your specific need or weakness. For an agency owner, you got to build out your profit plan, right? If you're doing reputation, great. How many clients do you have, right? If you're an affiliate marketer, how's that working out for you? E-com, same thing. We got to identify where your gaps are so you can take action and fill it and correct it. The solution is not buying another course that sets you on a new route. The solution is fulfilling the weaknesses, the needs in your business, right? And we get into how to pay, what to pay, job description, how to manage your team, how to train your team, 3 websites you're going to want to post jobs at, where to post them at, 20 plus social media groups where you can find really good candidates, interview questions, the 3 questions you got to ask, back to Todd's point, to avoid that mistake, that bad hire. The culture around technology. How are you going to interview them? Audio, video, chat, Skype versus Zoom, whatever it may be, right? So test before you hire. This is so ingenious. Before you commit to somebody, we do a little test where they have to do a task or two, and then we're able to evaluate the candidates, right? So we can figure out, do we want to hire them? You can pay for that or not pay for that. Very important. When you hire your first person, creating the offer, why not lowballing, right? Avoiding the lowball. They may take it, but I'm going to show you why firsthand you don't want to do it. How often to pay? Salary versus hourly. We're talking about minute amounts, guys. Variable compensation, bonuses. I like to motivate the team, right? How to pay them. Is it PayPal? Is it a bank wire? What do you do, right? So all of these things, we built this, and I'm going to get into the bonuses, but yeah, I'm going to jump to this slide. Look, we built this course. It's going to be a $997 training when we're done. We took the affiliates piece out. We got rid of the fluff, and then we removed a little extra for you. And we wanted it to be absolutely sick on how you can kind of take part in it at the best possible price if you pick up from Jeff, or obviously if you were on the call that I did. So when you do this, Jeff and I are able to kind of really spend quality time with you, and we build out some bonuses. This is where it separates. Now watch this. We do our usual VIP membership where we kind of dive deep and go all the time. We do constant everyday calls and training and access. We've got a Facebook community that's kind of the mastermind, right? Now, what's interesting about this, we've taken 8 of our team and put them in there. So you're able to communicate with them. We've got all kind of resources you can get as well. Now, I can tell you what to pay people, or I could have 3 of my team, or 2 or 3 of mine, 2 and 3 of Jeff's on a panel where we could ask them questions and you could hear firsthand from real people that are working in digital marketing right now. So instead of hearing from some course from some American who's never been to the Philippines, instead of hearing from 4-year-old Google data that was probably BS in the first place, we're gonna cut all the fluff out. We're gonna bring our team on the call. You can talk about salary and negotiating and what to pay, all of these things. How to interview. Once again, rather than us tell you what we do, we're going to bring not only us, but we're going to bring some of the Filipino team on the call. Very important. 4th bonus kind of picks up from the interview, goes into communication. For me, when you're thousands of miles away, you need to be able to interact and communicate. So, once again, we're going to leverage our team to immerse you in that world. You may not know right now, but you will as you participate in these live immersions. The 5th bonus, how to delegate tasks. My biggest problem with my Filipino team is I don't give them enough work. I underestimate their value. They're so good. So, how to do it effectively, how to make sure you get all the money, all the work for the money you pay. So important, guys. This is critical. So these 5 bonuses plus the Facebook group are awesome. It's different than you've seen anywhere else. However, what we really did, this is our ultimate bonus. And all of you get it. There's no limit. There's no scarcity. You all get access to this. What we did is create our own Philippines-based hiring group exclusive to you, exclusive to me, to Jeff, to Perkins, to David Sheldon, right? I'm on the D section, to Dimitri. Listen, we've got 1,000+ people. Now, guess where we found these people? I went to my team and I said, find me other good people you know like you. Find me people like you. Great English, technical, can use those email programs, is familiar with the space, been doing this for a while, and invite them to the group. I gave 4 people $250 as a bonus. Now, why did I do that? They built the whole group out, and we don't have a bunch of fluff. Anytime anybody posts something silly, off topic, we warn them once and then we kick them out. Now, I don't have to do that because our team is managing it. The beauty of this is you have your own pool of talent. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. So we've got 2 Facebook groups. We got the mastermind for all those of us that are owners of our businesses. And then we have the immersion private VA group for jobs. I made a post in there the other day. How many of you are looking for full-time? I got 120 responses really quick. 120 wanted full-time, 83 wanted part-time, 63 wanted half-time. Only a handful wanted projects only. And I get people like this. Give me a 1 if you could use somebody like Kenneth who's currently working as a cold caller setting appointments, right? Do you think that could be useful in your agency if Kenneth teed up people that might want to buy from you, right? Yeah, Dennis and Daniel, right? So awesome, right? We got this guy, and these are all, I don't want to say I personally vetted them or Jeff did, but we had our team look for other good people. So look at this one. 4 years of inside sales, cold calling, lead gen experience with two of the best companies in Cebu City. 25 years of sales and marketing experience. I have an interview with this person. I don't remember what day, but this person, we have an interview set up. If I don't hire him, you should. Janine, she's working as a telemarketer appointment setter right now. Right? Jarek, who wants to hire Jarek? He's worked with digital marketing appointment setting for 2 years now. He's done lead mining, creating our own leads. Look at this. Who wants to hire a guy like that to immediately fill in one of your weaknesses? Think about it. I do. I've got a few of these people, but I'll take Jarek if nobody else does. This guy is a home run. For every Jarek, we'll find 10 more. You're dabbling in e-com. How many of you have bought Kibo or Kibo Code Quantum last year or this year? How many of you have bought Kibo or Kibo Code Quantum? Just a one or me, whatever. Okay, good. I'm seeing them come in. There's a handful of you, Patty and Dave and others. Well, how about Mel Simpron? Mel's an Amazon VA. Jeff's got an Amazon business. Jeff's here the other day. Jeff's like, what do you do? He's making sure she's not full of it. You can read what she does. So imagine if Mel stepped in to help get your Kibo code off the ground. Yesterday, I told you about my VA. $160 at the time I took the screenshot. Affiliate. Right? As of right now, think about this. I mean, I'm over $1,000 from an email my VA sent to my one of my affiliate lists. Anybody can do it. I'm not active in the, what do you call it? This is a crypto email. I'm not even active in the space. I'm a long-term investor, but that's it. So all these different things. Now we wanted to do something more for you guys. We wanted to do something more. Vanessa, did y'all put the link in the chat? I don't know if you guys already did it, but that would be great if you did. Somebody was asking. We set up something special. You can't get this anywhere else. And we will, once again, limit access to this. A couple hundred of you here. We put together access to our team. And I don't mean access in the Facebook group. You're able to interact with Carl, asking a question, or Rose or Vanessa, right? You're going to be able to get access to our team. You want to talk to Jan, right? You want to any of the Jackie, any of our team, and we're going to give you access. It may be something like, Russell, I want to find another guy who has skills like you. How can I find somebody like that? Think about it. Or Vanessa, I want to find a phenomenal, like, A-level player, right? Vanessa worked at Thomson Reuters. Think about that. So we built this so you can get real on-the-job experience, because the problem with courses is you read some of it and then it never gets touched again. So what we want to do is get all of that, right? We want to address all of that. We want to make it as easy as humanly possible, right? As easy as possible. So how do we do it? Well, we're going to bring talent to you, right? We're going to bring talent to you. And you're going to be able to talk to some of our talent as a little on-call bonus and get that kind of help that you're never going to get on your own. You're never going to get on some job board ever. So this is what we built. We really believe, Jeff and I, that this model is a better model, right? For most of you. And we know it is for us, right? So look at this. Jeff, there's a lot of questions here. I've even got texts from a few of you guys that are here. Think about what you're working on. Think about your core business that you're doing right now and what's holding you back from making money. How can you fix it? What if I told you you could have somebody part-time for, $300, $250? And what if that person's bringing you in deals? What if that person's taking the fulfillment off your plate? What if they're doing your work in Kibo? What if they're doing your affiliate marketing for you? They're sending the emails. You're not technical, well, they'll do it for you. Doesn't get any better than that. Jeff, let's hit the questions if you don't mind.
Absolutely. First, before we talk about the questions, I've been sitting here listening to you, looking at the comments. You're not going to find this anywhere else. Now, the word VA, outsourcing, we've all heard about it, right? Maybe you've even tried it. Maybe you've got a VA. I know somebody was asking earlier, should you go to an agency? No. We're going to look, we have been doing it. I mean, Brian's been, I don't know if you recall if Brian said how long he's been using VAs, but longer than I have. But we've been using them. I mean, let me tell this story, because I think this will resonate with everybody. I told you that it was back in 2000, actually it was the end of 2010, beginning of 2011, when I got that email from Ryan Deiss about local marketing. It was about Google giving away 50 million free websites. It was about Google Places. So I started looking at the local marketing business. I ended up buying a product from Brian, which began the journey, our journey together. I was a customer. But when I first looked at the local marketing business, I know a number of you have, that's one of the businesses that you're in. What did I think about doing? This was, 10, 11 years ago. Did I dig in? I bought products. I bought a product called SEO Guru. That was what Ryan Deiss was selling with John Limbacher. I bought a product about social media marketing with Kate Buck and Laura. I can't remember her last name.
Betterly.
Yeah, Betterly. And I bought the product that Brian had. I bought other products. But here's what I quickly realized. I, Jeff Smith, did not want to spend all my time trying to learn how to do SEO, or how, and most importantly, to keep up with learning how to do SEO, because it's not like riding a bike. Okay, this is the principles behind riding a bike, and it's always going to be the principles behind riding a bike, kind of like wave surfing. Once you get up on the surfboard, you'll always get up. SEO is different. Social media is different. E-com's different. Amazon, they're all different because they change all the time. What did I do? I immediately started thinking about how to outsource the doing part of it. I was going to focus on the plan of what we're going to do and generating revenue. And I think that's what everybody's talking about here. A lot of you are commenting that you're not focused enough on generating revenue. You're focused on the execution on the back end of the revenue, the implementation to get the revenue. And even, those of you who are doing affiliate marketing, right, or maybe e-commerce, when you're not having to do the fulfillment, you're still struggling with the technical aspects, the detailed aspects of generating the revenue. Brian just showed you, he's got a VA paying a few $100s a month, who's already generated 1 or 2 months of their cost. Brian's in the green already having this VA, and I'm sure that's not all they're doing because it doesn't take that much time to send out emails, right? I mean, that's not going to take all day. It takes a few minutes once you are up and running with your platform. You're all focused on the wrong things, and this is not a negative comment. Many people are focused on it. I started out looking at the implementation, the back end of it, but I quickly realized I don't want to do this. It's not how I want to spend my life. And so I started outsourcing from the very beginning. And I've continued to grow that. Brian and I, we have a 24/7 operation, 7 days a week. We're not working all that time. You know, we've got a team of people that are very affordable, that are singularly focused on whatever their role is and continuing to build their skills in those tasks and that role so they can continue to add value, and they're living, you know, their dreams wherever they may be. So this is, you know, it's not a secret. I mean, everybody knows about VAs and outsourcing. The secret is in the way that we're doing this, because we wanted to make sure that we could add value, and the bonuses, the access to the team, all the things that we've added in here. It took us a while to figure out, you know, how do we do this differently? Because, you know, everybody has heard about outsourcing. There's probably a lot of people that maybe thought about, you know, attending today, and I never used the word outsourcing or VA in the emails that I sent out. I talked about the benefits of what we're presenting, and they're real. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, there's somebody who can help you. And I know Valerie was saying, you know, I wish I had somebody, I wish I had mentoring. I wish I had somebody to hold my hand. Look, there are people who are at least relative experts in the various tasks that you're looking to get done, right? Who will work their heart out to do whatever task and job that you set before them, you know, so they can feed their family and realize their dreams. There are people that are ready to help you. And this is the way to do it. And what we put together it doesn't exist anywhere else. We spent a lot of time thinking about how do we make this. We know this is the key. You know, we would not be as big as and as successful as what we're doing if we tried to do it all ourselves. And the key is you don't have to. So let's answer some of these questions. So Mohammed, I said, I need help to create a done for you email distribution campaign. Okay, Mohammed, you know, you've seen, now I know that you're a member of Email Cache Blueprint. So that, you know, we're not telling you got to go buy this in order to talk about that, but there's much more to what you're talking about, right? I mean, how do you get a customer? You know, what else can you sell them? Because those type of campaigns are part of an overall overarching, you know, campaigns. There's a lot more that can be accomplished there. So you know, if it has to do with that, we'll talk to you about that through Email Cache Blueprint. Let's see, David. David says, I jumped into this last week and I'm already impressed with the help I'm getting from everyone behind the scenes in this group and this lab. And yeah, David, you know, I think we actually got to spend some time together. Wasn't that a couple of years now, sadly, in Cozumel. But I know, you know, this, I'm telling you that we all have products that we invested in, and for whatever reasons, they're all pretty common. We haven't necessarily fully utilized them, gotten a return on our investment. There is a way to do that. You don't have to do everything. You can be in multiple businesses, right? Because you can have multiple people that have strengths and that can implement those without you having to do it. You just have to guide them. And they may guide you a little bit. Like I was just talking about with Valerie, if they already are an expert at Facebook marketing or email marketing or lead generation, they probably may know more about it than you do, right? Because they've been doing it. And they've been, as we saw, Brian showed people, they've been doing it for other people already. So you can probably learn something from them. Can they learn what it is that you specifically want them to do? Can they dive into Kibo code or into a video marketing product? Sure they can. They can dive in with their skill sets and they can learn, go through the training that you're not going through, you're not focused on, and maybe you don't want to do. Now that you have dipped into it and looked at it a little bit, you just don't want to do it. Okay, well, great. Hire somebody to do it. And you'll find out together if you can make it successful. Mohammed, yes. The answer is yes. Absolutely. Just contact us when you're ready. Yes. John says scale it wide and then tall, scale it deep. Now, Brian talked about, he did ecom for a while and decided, look, there's only so many hours in the day. And none of us want to work all 24. You can't keep that up anyway. Even Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, couldn't keep it up. Remember when he was working like 120 something hours a week or something because he was struggling? He was like determined to make Tesla's output to achieve the goals that he had told all the investors that he was going to achieve. And he was working ungodly hours, and you can't keep it up, right? And besides that, who wants to? That's not a life. So if you can't do it all, then why not hire people? And you don't have to go out and hire 5 to get started doing 5 different businesses. Start with one. Start with the biggest opportunity and obstacle on your plate. Michael's is at work. He's listening. He's already joined us. He mentioned, hey, I'm going to spend my time right now focusing on deciding what is the biggest opportunity, the biggest obstacle that may unlock the biggest opportunity. And I'm going to focus on that first. And that's all you need to do. And if you are maybe you're just getting started. You bought some things, but you haven't really chosen what business you're going to go into. Maybe you haven't really made any money yet. And you think, well, am I really ready for this? You are really ready for this because the first part of the training associated with VA Outsourcing Lab is all about your plan. Everything starts with your plan. What business do you want to focus on? You may be trying to do several different things, but what do you want to focus on? And how do we get you help to focus on that so that you are then prepared? You got to go through that process before you go hire anybody. And there are steps. There's other steps. You can't, well, okay, I'm gonna hire somebody to do this video marketing. Well, there are other steps before you actually agree with somebody on what you're going to pay them and what it is you want them to do. The other preparation steps. So you should get started going through that process because it's part of this. We didn't want to just say, well, here's how to go hire somebody. We want you to be successful, and that requires a plan. Let's see here. All right, let me go back. Let me just go up a little bit.
You see the one earlier. Yeah, here's somebody mentioning another program, and I won't name the name, but Dennis, I know what you're talking about. The VAs didn't perform for him, and for me, I had that experience before too. And what we tried to do is bring in different talent. We wanted to bring in our own teams to kind of shortcut that, because at the end of the day, it's only as good, right? If you hire somebody for $300, it sounds great, but only if you're getting massive value, not just to pay $300. So totally get it. Can't speak to the other product. I'm very familiar with it, but At the end of the day, we just think a better way of doing it is not approaching it like a lot of those other solutions. If they worked, those guys would be the biggest solution, they'd be giant, and they're not. And we really think this immersive kind of environment's the key.
Yeah, I see the question, and I too am not going to talk specifically about the individual whom I know and have met several times. But I can guarantee you that you won't be having a
Yeah.
conversation like this. He, now lives in Puerto Rico, and I've actually talked to him on Skype visually. I know where he lives, and you're not going to be having a conversation like this. He's not going to personally help you. He hasn't had, I mean, we purposefully, it took so long because Brian and I are all about, look, we're living our dreams. We want to help as many people as possible live theirs, whatever it happens to be. And so when we come up with something, a way to help, we've spent time and effort to develop it to the point where we think that as many people as possible can be successful at it. And this is included. And so what you're seeing today, you may say, well, I've hired VAs, or I know what VAs are, I know what outsourcing is. You haven't seen anything like this. And it's
Here's
not
a
as
good question,
hands-on.
Jeff. Somebody said, do I have to be in the VIP group? No. Now, we're
No,
going to give you a month, guys, because we want you to get that right out of the gate, that help from our team. But you may say, hey, I don't need that. I don't need to be in the VIP group. It's up to you. We're not going to beat you up, but a lot of people want extra help and handholding. And so if that's you, we've got an environment, a cushion that'll make it very, very easy for you to be successful. If it's not you, you still get access to the course, the training, the hiring group, right? You just lose the mastermind, the content, you lose that kind of stuff ongoing. You're going to have massive value. You're going to be able to hire people out of our group. You're going to have all kinds of access. Only you can decide what you need in your business long, you know what I mean? Long term. So it's designed to support people no matter where you are, because for every person that says they don't want to be in a group, they don't want to do that, there's two or three that do. And a couple times I recently created a new system, and I didn't create a Facebook group. I was Facebooked out, honestly. And I got beat up. People, the overwhelming majority, want to be part of the community, and they want the value that comes in learning from not just Jeff or Brian, but from Dennis or Mohammed or John or whoever else, or Perkins, right? There's value in the collective because none of us knows everything. Um, and the reality is there's also value getting that interactive experience with our experienced VAs. You can't get that anywhere else. You want that? You want to find it on a Google search? You'll never get what we have. I mean, because I'm paying, I don't know, collectively 20,000 a month probably for the team. And I have those people available, and a lot of them will be available in the group for you to ask questions and get help from. And I think that right there is immense value. So you don't hire the wrong person. So you're able to do things maybe the right way. But no, the honest answer is no, there is absolutely no requirement. We wouldn't think of it. So, but it's a fair question. Thanks for asking.
yeah. Roger said, um, this resonates so much with me, and it's so timely. I need to find the one thing that will move my business forward. And that was the name of a book,
You're right.
which the one thing. And that is so important. You need, now, Brian's already talked about he's doing multiple things. I told you I'm doing multiple things. I didn't start that way. My journey on online marketing started with, I'm going to build a local marketing business. And I'm going to sell SEO to doctors because they have lots of money.
I remember this conversation with Jeff. Yes.
Right. And so that's what I'm going to do. And that's when I met David, by the way, because David lived in Atlanta at that time. And David was putting on a seminar about digital marketing. And I saw it, and I showed up at their offices. And that's where I met David. And that's where I started, that one thing. But it graduated from there. I went from, I'm going to have a local marketing agency, which I built one successfully. And I said, well, I'm going to go up the value chain ladder, and I'm going to create a course on how to create a local marketing business selling to doctors. It's called Medical Marketing Mastery. And I hired Brian and Costas Peppas and Mario Brown at that point in time, and they were willing to help me and others, basically create a course. And I did a webinar. So, and that's where I moved up the value chain. And then since then, I've moved further up the value chain and broadened into other businesses, but I could not possibly have done it without outsourcing, without relying.
Jeff, here's a really good question. Tim asked, do you only hire offshore? I'm like, hey, Vanessa, are you there in the background?
Hi.
Where do you live? Do you live in the Philippines?
No.
Are you in Atlanta?
I am right outside of Atlanta, about 45 minutes from you.
Atlanta suburbia. So, I mean, what's your take? We have a team here in the U.S., mostly in Atlanta and, down in South Florida. What about, and then we have the team in India and Manila.
Yep.
I mean, there's value in both, right? If I had
Absolutely.
unlimited money, I might only hire Americans, honestly.
Right.
But the cost doesn't work.
And I like the benefit of having 24-hour coverage.
Yeah, it's big. The time difference really can work in your favor when you have somebody 12 hours different than you.
Yeah. But no, I'm not overseas. I look at their tropical paradise pictures and I'm jealous and I wish I was, but no, I'm stateside.
Nope, I love it, you guys. So no, the answer is no. Both of us have U.S. based here in Atlanta, and I have a couple in South Florida, and we have offshore. And I will say the best bang for my buck is the Filipino team. I have some Indians; they're good in the technical area, but they have their own issues, right? That are drawbacks that weren't issues 10, 12 years ago, and maybe 15 years ago. So if I was hiring my first person, I'd build my whole team in the Philippines. And if I got big, maybe I'd go to Ukraine, Eastern Europe / maybe somebody in India right now. It's just the value you can get, the skill you can get, Tim, is unparalleled. I mean, for $300 to be able to have somebody to run your entire, part-time lead gen for you, making calls. I mean, how do you put a number on that, right? What if they get you 4 deals a month that you aren't going to get because you're not doing anything? Only you know where your weakness has been. If you look in your agency and you say the last 12 months, I was good at this and bad at this, come up with what you were bad at. You don't have to tell anybody. That's who you want to hire. Find your weakness. That's what you want to fix. If you're doing affiliate marketing and you're not very technical, get somebody that can help you. Part-time, you're going to spend $250, $300 for that. Yeah, what if that makes you $5,000 next month? Think about it.
Brian, I just want to add something since we're talking about that is, and we talked about David, and many of you on here know David. David right now is challenged with some health issues. David's 65, 66. His team. I mean, I want everybody to think about this because
this is awesome, man.
Some of you have businesses today. A lot of you are trying to create a business. Let me just ask you, if you're an entrepreneur, what are you going to do if something happens to you? Right? I mean, we all get older if we're lucky, right? We have health issues. What are you going to do if you are challenged to work? If you have a local marketing agency and you're out of the picture, what are you going to do? If you're doing affiliate market or e-com and you have to step away, What are you going to do? I can tell you right now, I pay David and his team every 2 weeks because collectively they're doing everything that I've asked them to do. And, you know, David has his own VAs that are apart from that he pays. And so the world keeps spinning, even though David, you know, has got some medical challenges that he's working to overcome. The world keeps going forward. If you're not in that position, you need to get there. Because if you're, you know, if you're independently wealthy and you don't have to have that income, great. But I don't think probably anybody listening to me is, because you wouldn't be here, right? Unless you're just enamored listening to Brian and Vanessa and I talk.
I doubt that, but
Not that.
yeah,
There's plenty of other things to do.
right.
There's a big wide world out there. I'm telling you, jump off now. That's why you're here.
Did you see Muhammad's question? Muhammad A said, Jeff or Brian, how many hours will the VA work for our business? So I'll answer and then turn over to Jeff, Muhammad. So we've got I don't have project people anymore. It just wasn't the best fit. I have part-time, which is 20 hours, and full-time, which is 40 hours. Now I'm going to be honest. I am the worst at a certain thing. I have not kept, and I'll blame Vanessa and Brian collectively. There have been times when I haven't kept them busy enough. Certain people, but in general, they will work and knock out everything you have. And I don't pay them hourly. I pay them salary, a fixed salary for part-time and a fixed for full-time, because I want them to feel valued. I don't want them to feel they need to. One of the things I've learned from the culture, they want to be a part of something. And we've been real careful to work on that, right? To make it that. So when we pay people, we pay them fixed sum, and the assumption's 40 hours. Now, if I don't give them any work and they don't have self-starting work they can work on, that's on me. And I have made that mistake, truthfully. What about you, Jeff? What kind of hours did the team work for you?
Well, you know, like I said, there, you know, honestly, I don't manage the team. David manages. And for those of you who don't know, David actually grew up in the Philippines. His father was in the service over there. And I don't think he spent, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, let's say 5 to 10 years he spent in the Philippines. So as he got older, you know, David and I have been working together since 2011. He said, Jeff, this is where I want to retire. I want to move there. So I helped him move over there, beginning of 2000, I guess it was 2000, end of 2019. Yeah, it was, he got over there like right around New Year's. And, you know, it depends on the job that they have, but I will tell you that, you know, it's not really about the hours. Okay. And it's not like this is a digital business. You know, if you have somebody who's responsible for opening your retail location and managing the employees or receiving the customers and, you know, locking the door and turning the lights off when the day is in, then yeah, the hours are important. But we're all in digital businesses. It's really about getting the job done. And these employees are so focused on, and this is part of the culture of serving, you know, doing a good job and being part of a family and having a long-term relationship with you, willing to do any and everything. I mean, you know, my quote technical person, Mark, that's on our team, the main technical person, he does graphics, he does, you know, whatever that I need done, I go to him that's more or less technically related or graphically related or anything. I say, look, can you figure out how to do this? Even if he's never done it before. And he'll dive in and figure it out. And so they will constantly, your business will constantly evolve, and your employees, the VAs, can constantly evolve. It's a few $100s a month. You can get, it doesn't matter, I mean, they're, they have a brownout, they have a typhoon, it rains, it's a rainy season, it rains all the time. I mean, it's generally in the 80 degrees year round, but it rains a lot at certain times of the year. They have brownouts, they have internet goes down. Don't worry about any of that. They will get the job done. Regardless, that's how I measure it. Now, if you've got tasks for them to do, like they're generating leads or they're filling out documentation or something where you can measure, did they get it done? Honestly, I don't care if it takes them 8 hours to do it or 1 hour, because I know that they will be there if at all possible, if they're healthy and nothing's going on in their family and there's no brownout or internet, and it's not like it goes down every day. But it does occasionally happen. Hey, it just almost happened to us. I live here in Atlanta on the edge of Lake Lanier, and my internet disappeared on me 20 minutes before this started. So that's less important to me. It really is about getting done what you need, and they're virtual assistants, and that assistant word is very important, because you can literally say, hey, I need this done, figure out how to do it. And they're smart people. And so they will figure out how to do it. I want to look at this. Go watch these videos. Go create these videos. Write this. Go review this and tell me what you think about it. Right? Imagine if you've got people that are skilled and say, what do you think about this? So I don't worry about the absolute hours that they work. I focus on, what am I doing to advance my business? I mean, I've got, as I mentioned, VAs all over the world. I hired somebody to create a design for me that wasn't really their skill set. And I've now hired them multiple times to create multiple designs. And, they're creating designs for a brand new brand and a line e-commerce product that I'll be launching this summer, that I project, if successful, if everything, all my plans are correct, will turn into a multi-million-dollar business. And I've got somebody, I'm paying $55 for each design, which I now own. Okay, so it's all about leverage. And it's not, that's another business, right? And at some point, I will turn that over to a VA to manage it. And then you can go to the next business, right? Because it doesn't take all your time to do it. You just find the right people and you can create leverage. And then you can have a business that will run itself. And if you have to step away for whatever reason, then you will be in a good position. All right, let's see. I know Patty, welcome. John, welcome as well. I know there's several of you on here that have already joined us, and we haven't shown this to anybody else. We wanted to show it to everybody on my list. Last week we showed it to people on Brian's list, and there are people that are on both lists. So a number of you have already joined in, showed up here today. I don't know what else to say. If there's any final questions, we're getting close to hour and 3/4 here. So if there's any final questions about this, I mean, this is all about leverage, and it's leveraging somebody else's expertise at a very low cost. You can start out, you can hire them for, a few hours a week, to get started. You can start them and give them a test up front, hire them for a month. I mean, you'd have to see, once you get inside and you look and you see the group that we've created in Facebook that's just for hiring purposes, and you see what the VAs, what they post in there. There are now, and hundreds of people who are interested in helping business owners just like you. Hundreds of all different skill levels, all different types of skills. And they're eager. Wouldn't you say, Brian? They are eager to work
eager
with
is
you.
an understatement. They are fired up. They can't be more excited about throwing themselves into your business. I mean, from a cultural standpoint, right? It's an honor. They're able to make a really good income for them. And, they have the pandemic causing all kind of disruptions in the Philippines. They're able to do that, remotely from their house, which, as you guys know, would be a blessing. So it's like the ultimate win-win. Like, I'm finding salespeople, mostly appointment center, lead gen type, not really closers that I would say right now. Lot of appointment setting, teeing up deals. Lots of low to mid-end tech skills. So use this SaaS program. Think of any SaaS program you've bought. Do whatever, those kind of skills. Smart, overall savvy people, like degrees in English. They can follow instructions, go through this course, do this, do that. There's a lot of that. And I think when you think about it, for the price, it's pretty crazy. You can have I'm not saying you go to Starbucks every day, but if you did, you could have a expert level person for, half a month for the price of Starbucks. If you're grabbing a coffee there every day. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it really is. And the reason there are all these outsourcing courses is other people know that too. Most successful 7-8 figure guys I know have pretty extensive outsourcing organizations because the cost, you can't touch it anywhere, right? For the quality. And all we did is said, hey, yeah, we agree with you guys. I wish there was a different angle, kind of to the point about that other product earlier. We think adding the human element in, kind of creating an insider experience where you're able to cut through all the BS and red tape. We think that's key. We think it allows you to make the right hire and find out who you need rather than blindly posting on some job board where you pay to post and stuff like that. We're not really sold on that model, so to speak. So we think creating this on the job training, we've got a course, we got a little bit of training, but the reality is you're really plugging into our network, our system, our closed loop job board, so to speak, where we find great talent. Like, I'm always hiring. If I find somebody new and they're good, I'll hire them because I know that they'll make me money. They will make me more than I pay. I'm positive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's how I look at it. If I can hire 10 people that bring me clients that pay me money, one client equals their salary, I'll do that all day long.
Yeah. I mean, Brian, I'm sure a lot of people in the venture capital world, one of the axioms that venture capitalists go by is bet on the jockey, not on the horse. In our case, the horses are Kibo Code, Facebook marketing, local marketing, Amazon, e-commerce. Those are horses, right, that generate revenue. But you have to have a jockey to ride the horse, right? And unless you are an island unto yourself, a jockey that can ride that horse to success totally on your own, you need to be the horse owner and not the jockey. You need to hire the jockey or a team of jockeys, right, to go out and make it work for you. Darian asked, can you briefly explain what the cost of this will be for me? What do you get out of it if I'm dealing directly with the VAs? Dorian, you've been here today. We've talked to you about outsourcing. We stressed the importance and the value and the benefits of outsourcing. We've given you kind of a quick overview of what are the steps. You got to start with a plan and why you should do it in the Philippines. And these are great people, and you need to pick one task and write a job description and go off and do it, right? And there are sources out there to do it. If you can take that quick overview and anything else that you can go, take a look at on Google or anywhere else and go do it yourself, hey, great. We're glad you were here and you heard from us, and we wish you well. We wish you all the success. But if the task, the idea of having to go and gather the right information, right? The right information about how to do this successfully and hire the right person and manage them and pay them correctly and, write the right job. I mean, do it all correctly and successfully so it doesn't become just another thing on your plate, another, thing that is gathering digital dust because you didn't actually follow through on it. If that is something that you don't want to happen, we are here to help you. That's what you're paying for. We didn't, we created this based on long years and years of experience. And it's a lab, so going forward, you'll have access to additional things that we're doing. I mean, what Brian just showed you with the VA going into ClickBank and writing emails to send to a list and generating money, more money than Brian's paying him, that's a result of Brian testing that, of finding the right person, testing it, sharing the results. And now he said, okay, well, hell, I haven't done that, so maybe I can hire a VA to do it. And that could be another source of revenue. It's obvious that they can do it if you put it all together right. They can generate more money than Brian's paying them. So it's that's what you're getting access to. If you can take this and take whatever else you can go learn on your own and go do it, great. I'm not trying to stop you. We're just trying to help you and saying you don't have to do it by yourself. And when you're part of this global community, right, then you're going to learn from other people because we're very actively engaged. We do live streams and these things all the time, and people are engaged. And we're not. You don't have to just rely on us coming up with new things. Our members come up with them as well. Right. So yeah, in the first month it's $397. The first month of the VIP is on us. We want you to get access to the group of other members that are part of this, that you'll be learning from and bounce ideas off from. I can't tell you, when you're a digital marketer, if you're not part of a mastermind where or you're not partnered with somebody, if you don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of about what you're doing, what you're planning to do, what's happening with what you're doing, what should you be doing, what other things are out there that you weren't even aware of that other people are doing. If you don't have that, it's priceless. That's kind of like your board of directors. People call it a mastermind in this business. But if you don't have the ability to bounce ideas off of other people that are struggling with or successful in whatever it is that you're doing, you're missing out. I'm telling you, it's holding you back by not having access to that. And that's what the lab aspect of this is, because it's a living, breathing thing. We're constantly hiring people. Yeah, I'm right now in the process of looking for another Amazon VA, right? And then, out of this experience of creating this group of VAs that we're bringing people in, that it's your private, only the members of our group. Now, you will have access. If you don't stay in the VIP, you will have access to the VA group to hire from. You can take our training. You can take the first month of VIP and say, okay, guys, Brian and Jeff, I've got it from here. I get it. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to take what you've developed to me in the training, all the bonuses I've got, but I don't need access to VIP. I don't need access to the lab. I don't need access to the other members. I don't need access to the ongoing what we're doing and access to Brian's group of VAs and all the other things that are part of this. I don't need access. I've got it from here. Great. We'll still be there to support you. We want you to be successful. We hope that you do have it and you take the ball and run with it, and it leads you to bigger and better things. But if you need help, need ongoing assistance, we're always there to come back into that group, if you need help in that manner. I don't know if there's any final questions. We'll go ahead and address those. Otherwise, we're running up here against our sort of 2-hour time frame. I've enjoyed today. I've enjoyed talking to everybody, enjoyed hearing your stories. Honestly, Brian and I want you to be successful. We want you to do whatever it is that you want to do in your life. You don't get more time. We all each have whatever time is allowed to us in our life, and we want you to enjoy it. And starting yesterday, we'd like for you to be as successful as possible. I'll leave it there with you, Brian. If there's anything you want to add, and we'll just go ahead and close up. I don't see any more questions, but hey, welcome to everybody who joined us today. I saw many of you that jumped in, and I'm glad that you did. There will be a replay as long as the GoToWebinar is is successful in capturing this, and we'll send out the replay tomorrow. And but we have a special offer, here and that bonus right there, right, is worth jumping in now.
So Jeff, the other thing we did, and you guys, you may see this down the road. And what we wanted to do was honestly lower the price. We don't have to pay an affiliate, right? We don't have to pay a commission. So we thought about making it $497, and then I said, Jeff, let's just make it $397, and let's just focus on connecting with people on our respective lists. So you will be able to buy this later. It'll probably go to $697, and then eventually $997 will be the route. We want you guys to, if it fits you, to buy from us, not from an affiliate. And so we lowered the price to make it attractive for you. Additionally, we'll come up with other bonuses on the affiliate calls. We'll change the bonuses a little bit because honestly, these people all have jobs. So there's only so much we want to do in terms of, taking away from their core responsibility. But we really want you guys, like I had a guy message, I don't know if you agree, just a second ago, I got this message from somebody in the Facebook group, and I'll show you what it says. And maybe you agree with, pull it up and I'll show you. Let me find it. Here it is. I use this in my slide. Remember that post about cold calling? Some of you guys will know Tony. Tony Jones said, Brian, I need a cold caller appointment setter ASAP. Very interested. 40 minutes ago, while we're on the call, you guys.
Yeah.
This is in our private group. And I just posted somebody that I thought was good. And it doesn't mean you're going to hire them. I'm just saying it's worth talking to, right? And so I'll connect them, and we kind of do a little concierge. I've instructed some of the admins in the group, if they see people in the main job board that have skills wanted by, let's say, Patty, you or Dorian, you, to say, hey, Dorian, or just tag your name on a person, just to kind of help bridge connections. Additionally, when some of the Filipinos in the group don't answer the question completely. I've instructed Rose and Vanessa and some of the others to basically make them give what we want. Don't just say me. When somebody writes me, I might want to just exclude them because that does nothing for me. But I said Grace or Rose, I'm like, look, ask them what's their background, what's their skill, because when you're skimming this, nobody wants to go through a bunch of resumes and have all these people contact you. Trust me, you don't. So
No,
what we want is you to see enough to go, all right, this guy Kenneth did cold calling and appointment setting. Yeah, that's enough for me. I at least want to check him out. That means he's not order taking, he is reaching out and making those calls. For me, that's enough that I put him on my list to talk to. So
let me,
just an example, just
yeah,
happened a minute ago with Tony.
that's a great example. Let me just add this, Brian. I know I told you to take it from here, but let me add
No,
this.
that's okay, dude. Come on.
That group, we have two groups, right? We have a group of members, business owners, just like you, that are challenged, have the same set of challenges, where regardless of what type of business you're trying to do, they have the same type of challenges. We all face similar challenges. Some are further ahead in meeting those challenges than others. Then we have this private VA group. And I know there are roughly, I'm going to say 20 other groups out there that have people in the Philippines as members. Okay. And they are in the thousands. Some are tens of thousands. Okay. None of them are going to operate the way that we're operating this group today, or are going in the direction that we're going with this group. This is going to be such an asset to our members as we grow this forward, because we, over time, as we learn what our members are looking for and need, we will be orienting, we may be recruiting specifically for that. We know how to recruit. Could be recruiting more appointment setters, more e-com operators, more lead generators. What our members need, we're going, and the others are just sort of, and I've joined them all. I've been in them. I know what's in there. I know what they're doing because we analyzed it, right? And I know what some of these other businesses, they have agencies and they supply the VAs for you and the challenges that they have. And I understand all that. Ours will be completely different because we want it to be successful for you, and we use it too.
Like, look at this, Jeff. I wrote this yesterday trying to help out a guy, Kevin. And I know there's a few of you. David Perkins is looking for somebody kind of like this. And if you're doing affiliate marketing, this would help any of you. So I wrote what I would want: strong written English skills, basic technical experience. They don't need to be super technical, but they need to know how to make short links. I don't need to go too low level in the weeds. I know if they have basic tech experience like this, they're fine. Strong experience using email marketing software. I just named some examples.
Yeah,
Experience with
and
list hygiene. You know what? And we got a guy who writes, I am in. What the hell am I going to do with that an hour ago? So our Filipino team's asleep. So I took it upon myself to write, asking him for a little more information.
yeah, I mean, you're not going to find this in, there are other groups. They're not like this, and they're not going to be what this will become. Okay, they're not going to be managed from this orientation, and we're not an agency. We're not selling you VAs. We want you to.
There's no markup. We don't make any money on that, you guys. We're just trying to help.
Yeah, that's not the goal. There are people that do that, right? But this is completely different. You won't find it anywhere else. And most importantly, it's not a static thing. It's not, most of the things that you buy something and then, there's some training for it. And then it's, good luck. They got a support team that'll answer questions about it. But it's, it's good luck. And then next year there's a new version, right? That then you didn't have to consume because things have changed enough that now I got to buy the new version. What we do is totally different. You get in, there's an entry price to get in, and then there's support, but more importantly, we have VIP groups so that there's an ongoing dialogue about this thing. And that's common to everything that Brian and I do, including this. And what you've seen today is just the beginning of what we're going to be doing with this. So if this makes sense, you should jump in now, because it's going to change and the price is going to go up. Now you'll still have access to what we're doing. We still want you to be successful, 3 months from now, if you join us then. It'll cost more, but we want you to be successful, and we'll take you, and we will have 3 months. Everybody else will have had 3 months of growth in what we're doing. So if it makes sense, jump in. Brian, Vanessa, thank you for being here today and talking about this with everybody who's showed up. And if you're listening to this on a replay, it'll be available for a few days. I'll have it out there, but then, we'll be moving on. And I hope that you're a part of what we're doing, we're launching here, because it's incredibly important. I don't think you understand how important what we're talking about can be to you and your future and your business. So thank you for being here, Brenda. Thanks for being here through the presentation. And hey, we'll see everybody who's joined us in the group and in the next live stream that we have in there.
I love it. So Jeff, thank you for having me, letting me be here. And for everybody that came on board, I just saw welcome Jim, and who did I meet? Daniel, I didn't welcome you, but welcome to Daniel, Tim, Jessica K, and Megan earlier. So all of you, thank you guys who came on board. And I know some of you on the call had joined with Jeff and I last week, and obviously you're welcome too, but John and Patty and Roger and so many others. You're going to love this. Be active. Let our team work with you. Let them help you, and let us fill, right, the number one need you have. More clients, solving the tech hurdles, whatever it is. We can make it really, really easy, and it doesn't have to take very long. You could take massive action on this, and then you know what? You shift, and now you go like I do. Carl, where are we today? That's what I do in the mornings. I hit them on Slack, and I hit different people asking for updates, and I look at the overall updates with Vanessa. And you know what? It's a way better experience than building a backlink or going into Sprague software or something like that. I don't do any of that. I don't have to. Either do you. So let's kind of re-architect your business. Let's find your weaknesses. Let's fix it. You guys will absolutely love it. It is refreshing to have a team, somebody to collaborate with, and to really fill the gap. So thank you for letting me be here. We've got a couple spots, I think 3 or 4 spots left. So there's some bonuses available. You guys, awesome, great questions. And thanks again, Jeff.
Thank you. We'll see everybody on the inside.
Bye, guys.